True heroism is remarkably sober, very undramatic. It is not the urge to surpass all others at whatever cost, but the urge to serve others at whatever cost. This begins my heroic imagination presentation. When I was considering what heroism means and what makes someone a hero, I also started to wonder, why do some people become heroes to others? This led me to ask the question of why or what would prevent someone from wanting to help another person if they were in need. In other words, what prevents heroism, and how can we motivate ourselves and others to keep up when the situation arises? So, a few things that prevent heroism could be people don't want to get involved because they don't think it's their place to step in if they see something wrong. They don't know how to help or what to do, so they freeze up. They fear that maybe they are making a mistake and don't want to assume something and make matters worse. They don't want to offer their help and get rejected and told to mind their own business, or they're scared to put themselves in danger. So, how do we keep up? To quote Winston Churchill, he said, "We make a living by what we get, we make a life by what we give." As individuals, we are inherently need to feel connected to one another in some form, whether it be from social interactions, emotional connections, romantic relationships, or from intellectual commonalities. We are social beings that need touch, love, and support, which usually is received from our family and friends. However, when we are deprived of these connections, we can become severely depressed, and our mental and physical well being can suffer long lasting effects. This is why it is critical to be able to engage with one another and recognize when someone, even if it's a stranger, needs help. By reaching across the void and lending a friendly hand to a stranger, we may inadvertently change their life. This is the power of kindness. We all have this ability, and it doesn't have to cost a thing monetarily to make a difference to someone in need. We've all heard the phrase pay it forward, but do you know what it truly means? The premise behind the pay it forward movement is that when someone does something kind for you, in lieu of paying for that individual back directly, you would then pass it on to someone else instead, hence starting a chain reaction of unending kindness. The most common example of this behavior regularly occurs at the coffee shop when someone buys a coffee for the person behind them, and that person then purchases the coffee for the car behind them. When I was researching this pay it forward movement, I found that at a Starbucks in Connecticut, nearly 1,500 customers paid it forward, footing the bill for the drivers behind them in line at the drive-thru window. This lasted for days, and it came to a close on a Saturday when a customer broke the chain of holiday cheer that had been ongoing since early Christmas Eve. And in total, 1,468 customers paid for each other's drinks. So that's the great thing about being kind. It's really easy to do, and it doesn't really take a lot of energy to do it. So why don't we choose kindness today and every day? We really have no idea the lasting impact that it can make on others. It can be a simple smile, holding the door open for a stranger, paying for someone else's coffee. So what positive impact can you make to someone? By paying it forward, you don't necessarily have to wait until someone does you a good deed. You can also be the one who starts to pay it forward, thus being the one who sets it all in motion. It's amazing the positive effects that kindness has on our mental health. There's a few examples of how our bodies physically respond to kindness. So, kindness is actually a natural painkiller. It releases endorphins to the brain. It helps with stress, and I found that on average, kind people age slower and have lower stress levels. It helps with anxiety and depression because it stimulates the body's ability to produce serotonin. And it's been shown to help heal wounds as well as calms and increases your happiness. Helps with blood pressure, pleasure, self-worth, and relationships as well. So I think now more than ever, due to the uncertainty of the coronavirus, people are craving the need to feel connections with others. So with the restrictions placed on our social interactions, we are limited to our engagement with others. So how do we go about to ignite more change of kindness while still being 6 feet apart. So you don't have to really go far to make a difference. Here are a few ways you can be a hero in your community. You can leave packages of groceries and essential supplies at the homes of high-risk people with notes that you can bring more if needed. Leave toilet paper, hand sanitizers, and masks to the elderly with a handwritten note that you're thinking of them. Leave notes of happiness and well wishes in your neighborhood mailboxes, letting them know that if they are lonely, you are willing to connect virtually. During this winter season, shovel snow and clear the walkway for your neighbor, and you can deliver food and water to first responders and thank them for helping to keep your community safe. However you choose to spread kindness, it is very rewarding to let your cape fly.